You're vibing. You're vibing. You're vibing, vibing, vibing. Vibing with Reeves. Yeah, what's goodie? How you doing? How you feel? What's your life like? Hope you love it. Hope you love it. Hope you love it. You don't get another one, so hope you're loving this one, baby. What's going on with you? How you feel? It's another episode of Vibing with Reeves. Let's get into it. Yeah. And this episode is about music. You know, I do music, and and every now and then I have to do an episode that talks about music. You know, every now and then I have to do an episode that features on music. And what I want to talk about are the albums that we love, old albums that we love, and newer albums that we love, and the reasons why we love them. You know, are you with me? Are you with me? This is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna talk about the things we love, the joints we love, the music we love. All right. A lot of people love the classic joints, the masterpieces and the near masterpieces and the near classics. Might even talk about some singles. I mean, let's talk about good music and what makes it good, what makes it enjoyable, and what keeps the pipeline of good music rolling. I mean, there's people out here that think that, hey, there hasn't been any good music for years. You know, that's an opinion. A strong opinion, but it's a common opinion. It's strong yet common opinion. There's a lot of people that feel that way. There's people who disagree. But let's get into it, baby. Vibe with Reeves. Let's do it. Jill. Let's start with the new. There's music that people love. And let's go with albums that are getting love. They're getting a positive reception. Alfredo too. That's right. That's right. Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. Alfredo too. Getting a lot of love out there for the lyricism, the hunger of the raps, and the production. And that's important because it shows that you don't have to be a certain age to still be able to perform in hip hop, which has been a narrative that's been spun for quite some time. Where they say, oh, you age out. When you're 30, we don't want to hear you no more. Bye bye. And now that shoot, Drake in his 30s, Kendrick in his 30s, Playboy Cardi, what I think he 29, 30. So I mean, a lot of the people we roll with and still listen to, a lot of people mess with are in their 30s. The older niggas, you know, 30s, especially in his 30s, 30, especially in the 30s. I mean, a lot of artists in the 30s. Um, Rhapsody, I think she early 30s. I mean, come on. There's people in their 30s or 40s still bringing it. It's not like you get a certain age, become a certain age, and it's like, oh, talent gone. Unless you don't take care of your skills, you don't water your garden, and your talent is your garden. You know, water that garden, and then next thing you know, you come back years later and you're trying to pull up some plants, you're trying to pull up some fruit from that garden that you didn't water for years, and it's not there. or it's very dry looking, you're gonna feel a certain way. You neglected it for years. You didn't tend to it. You didn't show love. You got like you didn't care about it. That's one thing about music. You keep on doing it, you get better. If you have that hunger, you get better. You're gonna be sharp. You're gonna be practicing. You're not gonna be left behind. Another one is the Clips album for the hip hop people. Clips. They showed even more that age doesn't determine whether or not your project will be good. Your talent determines whether or not your project will be good. Your hunger determines whether or not your project will be good. The production, the songwriting, the chemistry will determine whether or not your project will be good. You can tell they took care to craft a whole album. Some people are dope on singles, but what it takes to make a good single is a different skill set than it takes to make a whole enjoyable album. The thing about a single is just one song. It's just a song. So if you're doing a bunch of one-offs, you don't have to worry about continuity. You can just do whatever you feel like. So there's a freedom to that. But if you're doing a, 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 a concentrated project, an album, then guess what? You have to concentrate on that project. You have to sit back and say, "Dang, what's the theme?" Is You don't have to necessarily be a concept, like a whole concept album, but there might be a theme. Maybe it's love, maybe it's romance, maybe it's heartache, maybe it's politics, maybe it's revolution, maybe it's a dystopian future that you feel where maybe you feel we're headed to a dystopian future, like it's like right now. Not to wish that into existence at all, but maybe that's what you feel, and that album is coming from that place. Maybe you saw a movie and it inspired you so much that you are making music as if you was a character in that movie. You're making music to fit that movie, almost like you an unauthorized soundtrack for that movie, like a score for that movie. There's gonna be something. Maybe it's about sex. Maybe it's about strip clubs. Some people will do it about drugs. Some people do it about mental health. Tell the stat, what up? What up? He had a problem. He had an album, mental health. You know, there's different venues to come, different styles and directions to come through. You know, different angles you could come from. Maybe you're talking about religion and spirituality. Maybe you're trying to save souls. And maybe that's your theme. That's something that's something else too. So all your singles will come from that theme. It's not like, okay, maybe all your songs fit into that theme. It's not like, okay, this song is my club song. This song is my gangster song. No, some people have more versatility in that thing, and that thing might just be, I'm trying to get on. Or some people, that thing is just, this music's jamming. So it's a little more broad. Some people, it's a little more focused, or it might be way more focused. It's like, this is the thing. We're not deviating from the thing. So that's why I said, making one-off singles. There's more freedom in that because you're not having something that you have to stick to. Say, this is it. Hey, this is it. But you can still find freedom within the project if you so choose. Just the way you do it. But yeah, when you're making a project, it's it's a lot. And I had my own projects out there too, like Henny Black, Soul Shots, the pregame, Cook It Up Instrumentals, Volume 1. So I had projects. Like the Cook It Up Instrumentals, the theme of that is just instrumentals, beats. It's an instrumental album. So that's the theme. That is beats that sound good together with no raps. Okay, cool. That's that's the thing. Sometimes I'm made albums with themes and concepts. You know, concept albums are a thing. Lupe Fiasco make good concept albums, definitely. And, you know, we'll go back to the concept album thing a little later. I'll mention other concept albums that were dope as well. But yeah, there's the mixtapes, and some people were like to release mixtapes that feel more like albums. Look how a lot of people have. I mean, I've done it. I've done it myself. You want the mixtape with original music when you do that over original beats. Other than that, the mixtape will have like industry beats, like they freestyle over a OJZ instrumental, or you might freestyle over a MC Light beat, or a DJ Quick beat, or you know what I mean, or an NWA instrumental, or a Snoop Dogg beat, whatever. You might freestyle over an Outkast beat, and you just put them all on one joint. But you can still have a theme for that. Could help. There's mixtapes that had themes to them, like a Fabulous. When you was doing the soul tape mixtapes, those had themes. It was him over soulful production, and those are some of his most beloved projects. You know, some people will tell you that long player projects don't matter. Mixtapes don't matter. Albums don't matter. EP, you could do an EP if you want. Don't do more than 4 songs though. Other than that, doesn't matter. Just the singles, singles, singles. That's all that matter. And that's not really true. Maybe it doesn't matter to them, but there's still people who long for long player projects. There's people who just rather rock with singles. They're cool with just singles. Guess what? Both are important. Singles and long player joints and the joints in between the EPs. All that is important. Albums, mixtapes, EPs, singles. It's all important because it's all musical expression, baby. It's all the music. It's the music. Must be music. Must be the music. I mean, music. I love music. Dun, 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 dun. Classic, you know. And hip hop at one point was a singles dominated field. It was singles. I remember back in the day, if an album popped, up, like, oh, an album. Because guess what? Albums wasn't always the norm for hip hop. And some people going to disagree to say, yes, it was. And they'll start saying Illmatic and it was written and Be Against the World and Wu-Tang Forever. True, great albums, classic albums. But guess what? Guess what? I'm talking about earlier than that. 80s, you know what I mean? Back then, a lot of the independent labels, you was getting single deals. So you might have one single. Didn't that single do good? Get another single. You for You got to have like three successful singles, even possibly get an album in a lot of cases, you know. But you can't downplay the importance of those singles. Feel me? You cannot downplay the importance of the singles. You can't downplay the importance of the albums. Because some artists are better at creating whole pieces of work, long pieces of work, from 1 to 12 or 1 to 15. They can really let the creativity shine. Some people are better at displaying their creativity in shorter spurts. Long as it's jamming, I'm good. Long as it's jamming, I'm good. I don't want to listen to a whack album. Oh my gosh. It stopped being good after track three. Why? Why is it 17 songs long? I'm not gonna make it. I'm on track nine. I'm not gonna make it to 17. I don't want that. If that's the case, if track three was the best, then maybe a three-song EP. Remember the days of the mega single, multiple versions of a track, and you might have a song on side B, song two. Okay, I said singles matter and albums matter. So I'm gonna show you some things. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for me to show you some things? Pause. Music, album covers, single covers. Let's get with it, baby. Vibin. Single. And what's this single of? House music, classic, Devotion by 10 City. House music classic. I'm sure. Going back to the older joints, they had a lot of classic joints on that album. They had Right Back to You, Where Do We Go, and dun 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 dun. That's the way love is. That's the way love is. Classic, 1988 into 89. Classic, classic, classic. The emotions, the emotions. Whoa, whoa, that's the mile. Classic, classic. Used to sing background also for Earth, Wind, and Fire. Made a lot of classics. And look at this, the back cover. There's Best of My Love, A Long Way to Go, and Don't Ask My Neighbor. Classic, classic. Produced by Maurice Wright. Rest in peace, Maurice Wright. Co-produced by Clarence McDonald. Classic album on the R&B side. That's classic music. Freddie Jackson. Classic joint, the first album. What's on there? You may ask. Love is just a touch away. I want to say I love you. That's my joint right there. Both of those are my joints. You are my lady. That's my joint. That's my joint. And rock me tonight for old time's sake. Classic, 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 classic. Classic production on there. Classic vocals. They understood the assignment. Go in there, make good music. The arrangements was on point. The musicianship was on point. The production was on point. The engineering was on point. The singing was on point. So, let's get into some hip hop classics. You know, what's this? Uh-oh, Job Classics 12-inch series where they take artists that they had on their label and give you a single of some of their classics. And who is this one? A Tribe Called Quest. We got the jazz. Oh my God. And Scenario. Multiple versions. So those are classic, classic, classic singles right there off classic album. You know, they made stuff that was great. They made great albums that played and then you could enjoy it from beginning to end to beginning. Never lose because the more about winning. Recipes can't go. You know what I mean? Recipes, um, the educated rapper too. That was my joint. Roxanne, Roxanne. Classic. I'm sorry. But back to what I'm saying. These songs that was on that Tribe Called Question are from different albums that were classics, and they played from beginning to end and was flawless. But you could take those songs out and they still function well as just singles. But they function just as well as part of the album. And that's an art in itself to do that. That's definitely an art in itself. Fat Five. That's right. OGC helped the sculptor. Rest in peace, Sean Price. La Fleur, La Fly, Scotia on the flip and blah on the A. You know, classic hip hop, classic. See, those classic joints right there. You gotta love it. And appreciation. Coogee Rap 456. It's a shame. Woo! Killed it on that. Taking the wall, blowing up in the world, and Fast Life. Featuring Nas. That was one of the best collabos. Nas standing toe to toe with Coogee Rap. Man, everything in 95. Coogee Rap, one of those ones, and that show Nas was one of those ones because Nas is popular, but that was just 1 year after Illmatic. So he was still new to the game, and G Rap was a veteran by then. So that shows you that the hunger matters. If you keep your hunger intact and you practice and stay sharp, you don't age out of being dope. You age out of being dope when you don't take care of your garden. You don't take care of your craft. You say, whatever. And you just leave it alone. Then you come back years later try to do it, and it might just be nah. The creativity can be fickle sometimes. Like, nah, you left me alone for so long. Now you gotta work to get it back where it was. You gotta work to get it back. Not saying it's impossible. You might have to work, put in some work to get it back where it used to be, and the progressing be even better. But yeah, these are just some examples of, of dope music, singles and albums. And also on the concept album tip, here's a concept album that some people, a few that people sometimes don't recognize as concept albums because it is an R&B. Jodeci. That's right. Jodeci. Jodeci. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. That's unnecessary but necessary. You know what I'm saying? Jodeci, gotta love him. Shout out to Jodeci. But the show, the after party, the hotel, all the songs up there, crazy. And that skits that went with it to let you know it was a concept about the show. The after party in the hotel. That's dope. That's a concept. But then on the other hand, on the other side, there's an album that was kind of similar with the concept earlier. That's right. That's right. New Edition with the Indie Heartbreak album. And that was about them being on the road. Yeah, skits about how them being on the road, going out on tour and getting up on stage, and then also downside, they're missing their families and the responsibilities they had to take on young. The songs are like Can't You Stand the Rain, You're Not My Type, You're Not My Kind of Girl, all that good stuff was there. And then them coming home and the heartbreak. It was like a tour album. They're letting you know, hey, this is how we gonna go through. This is how we deal with things when we're out and about on tour. This is what we have to go through. It's giving you a glimpse into the other side. You know they sing, but it's like, okay, here's what we go through. Here's what we had to go through to get here. It's not as easy as you may think. And that's why I appreciate it. So those are classics and concept albums, There's concept rock and roll albums, a concept hip hop albums, It's dope when you could pull that off. But you still gotta make good music, still gotta make great music. It still gotta be dope. It can't just be these songs are just the hype, but the concept, people not gonna give a damn about the concept if they don't give a damn about the music. If they hear the music, like, ugh, what is this? They're gonna say, yeah, but it's from a concept. You're like, F your concept. Why this music whack? You know? If you want people to care about it, they gotta care about the music. Gotta be dope. The music being dope and relatable and dope. Heck, sometimes if people can't even relate to what you talk about, if it's dope enough, people still like, I can't relate, but that shit dope. That should go hard. I can't relate to it. Oh, you like, damn, I'm sorry. I haven't driven around in luxury foreign vehicles, transporting a bunch of dope, but it's still a good song. It's still a good song. You still got rap, still got bars, whatever it is. Maybe sing about divorce. Like I don't know what it's like to be divorced, but it's still a good song. Like I couldn't identify with Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald when they sung "On My Own" back in the day as a little kid. I couldn't identify with none of that. I was like 6. I could identify with playing tag and asking mom for money for the ice cream truck or something. I could identify with that. But whatever songs that was out, if it sounded dope, I was rocking with it, even though I couldn't identify with it yet because I was too young. Like when Color Me Bad came out with a sexy well, ooh, I couldn't identify with that. I was like, what, 10, 11? I wasn't sexing up nothing. So I couldn't identify with it. I'm like, yeah, that's how I be. I didn't. I couldn't identify. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but you know what I'm saying. You can't always just because you don't identify with it doesn't mean it's not a good song. You can still enjoy it even if you can't identify with it. If the song's good, but if you can identify with it and the song is good, whoo, that makes it so much better. Then it's like now that's my shit for real. 'Cause it could be a theme song now. I've been through it, and this song reflects that. Oh, this is my new anthem right here. Y'all don't even know. That be your anthem, don't it? I lived this song. This it's like they spoke for me. It's like they lived my life and put in the song and got me dancing to it. That's crazy. Like, nah, that's one of the wonderful parts of music. That's one of the magical elements of music. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And for all my creatives that are on the music side, whether young, old or young, in between, whatever, you can do it. Focus on being dope. Of course, learn about the business sides, of course. But yeah. You can do it. Don't let people tell you you can't. Don't let people tell you that talent doesn't matter. You know, that's why you end up having a bunch of whack shit. Because people, oh, I don't have to be good. No, you have to be good. I mean, you have to learn the business side, of course, but you still have to be good. Practice, practice. You know, have fun. Express yourself. There's people out there who can't wait to hear some new hot shit. For real. And that's what it is. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for vibing with me. Leave comments, like, comment, share, let people know about the podcast. I appreciate you. And also let me know what singles, EPs, mixtapes, albums you loved, you know. And if you're an artist, let me know what kind of music you like to make. And yeah, let's enjoy this thing called life. And let's zone out with the good music, baby. Have a good one. All right, stay up. ReevesENT.com. Swing by, you know, swing by Bandcamp. Look for Mr. Reeves and the podcast, you know, Fridays, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. You know it. Yeah. I want you to know I'm so lit when I'm up in my zone. I want you to know